โอเคจะเริ่มเลยใช่ไหมโอเคเอ่อ we are hard A and we are now going to present module 5. We'll start with cryptocurrency. Uh, Making sense of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. Uh, what does it all mean? Let's start with blockchain. Blockchain is a technology that enables the existence of cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency that we all know is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the name of the best known cryptocurrency and use the technology blockchain to Bun. Uh can you help slide it back? Thank you. And cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange such as US dollar, but it is in digital and use cryptographic technique. What is blockchain technology? Blockchain is a decentralized ledger of all transactions across peer-to-peer network. And what is cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency, as I told you that cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange, but in electronic. But the base and the icon of the cryptocurrency is it has no intrinsic value and no physical form, and also the supply is determined by the protocol, not the government or banking. Blockchain benefits and unknown. Blockchain benefit is increased transparency, account tracking, permanent ledger, and cost reduction. The unknown of blockchain is the complex technology, regulatory implication, implementation of challenge, and computing platform. And that is how blockchain work. Blockchain will work by the customer or someone will request transaction, and the request transaction is broadcast to P2P network, and the network will validate the transaction and verify. After the verify, it will add to the node and add to the blockchain, and the transaction will complete. By this, the system will be very secure and very fast. Blockchain potential application. The first is automotive. Consumer could use the blockchain to manage fictional ownership of autonomous car. Next, financial service is help faster, cheaper settlement, and could be more transparent. Next, voting. It is immediately verify result and also much safer than usual voting system. Next is healthcare. Healthcare patient encrypt health information could be shared with multiple providers without risk of privacy breach. And next is blockchain basic. The basic of blockchain is a decentralized ledger that all transactions across peer-to-peer network. Using technology, participant can confirm the transaction without a need for central clearing authority. The first interaction to this is distributed ledger. Distributed ledger is a type of database that share, replicate, and synchronize among the members of the decentralized network. The role of business ledger. Ledger are system of record for business economic activity. Interest asset can be tangible and physical, such as car, home, or strawberry. Asset ownership and transfer are transactions and create value in a business network. Transactions typically involve various participants like buyer, seller, intermediary, such as bank. Whole business agreement contract are recorded in ledger. And cryptocurrency will solve the problem with current business ledger. The current business ledger have a problem which is their deficit and inefficient, costly, and misuse, tampering, and lack of transparency. Furthermore, are often copied of business ledger on each network participant own system lead to faulty business decision made on temporarily incorrect data. Blockchain is a tamper-evident, a shared digital ledger that records transactions in a public or private peer-to-peer network. Instead of relying on the third parties such as financial institution to mediate transaction, member node in a blockchain network use a consensus protocol to agree on ledger. Blockchain was the first introduced to the market as technology underpinning Bitcoin exchange, but its practical use in the world of business extends far beyond cryptocurrency transaction. For example, in finance, blockchain network allows security trade to be settled in a minute rather than a day. In supply chain, blockchain network can allow the flow of goods and payment to be tracked and logged in real time. Next is enterprise blockchain requirement. First is a shared permission ledger is append on only system of record. There is consensus protocol agreed by all participating member. Next is cryptography ensure tamper-proof security, authentication, and integrity of transaction. Next is chain code, or in other name, smart contract. Encapsulate participant term of agreement for business that take place on the network. Chain code is stored on validating peer nodes in the blockchain. In addition to this attribute, enterprise blockchain technology needs to meet key industry requirements such as performance, verified identity, and private confidential transaction. Hyperledger Fabrics has been architected to meet its need. It is also designed with pluggable consensus model, allowing business to select optimal algorithm for this network. Next.
Moving on to security and privacy, starting with the GDPR cheat sheet. To begin with, the GDPR codifies and unifies data privacy laws across all European Union member countries, and is applicable to any citizen of the European Union, and most importantly, for any company doing business with a citizen of the EU. Under the GDPR, before processing any personal data, a business must ask for explicit permission from the subject. The request must use clear language. GDPR matters because the penalties for non-compliance with the provisions of the GDPR regarding of the collecting and using personal data are potentially devastating. The GDPR affects and is applicable to any business collecting personal data from a citizen of the EU. For all intents and purposes, if your enterprise has a presence on the internet in the form of a website, and if your enterprise collects personal data from the customers, regardless of where those customers are located, it is subject to the provisions of the GDPR. Enforcement of the GDPR went into effect on May 25, 2018. Next are the key provisions of the GDPR. Personal data is defined as any information related to a natural person that can be used to directly or indirectly identify that person. It can be anything from a name, a photo, an email address, bank details, posts on social networking websites, medical information, or even a computer IP address. The GDPR also established a specific rights and regard to the data subjects, which are consent, branch notification, right to access, right to forgotten, data portability, privacy by design, data protection officers, and lastly, penalties for non-compliance. If you want to learn more about GDPR, you can go view provisions of the GDPR, which and publicly viewable from the EU. Moving on to the next topic.
So next, for the 8 reasons why smartphones are privacy nightmare. The first one is geo-tracking. It is one of the significant smartphone features that being capable of locating the smartphone itself. Most importantly, this feature can be used for tracking distance during running and map navigation. Second, malicious app. The reason why it is called malicious app is because it is quite scary and makes people feel suspicious about why most actually games require people to access track sellers usually offer free Wi-Fi to the shoppers, which create eager people to stay connected. Fourth, lack of antivirus software. In this modern day, Windows or Mac, PC user should download and install antivirus software for the additional security. The antivirus software is not clearly distinct. Antivirus software have been borne out when compared to the full-fledged PC. 5. Your camera could be watching you. It is about smartphone camera as a security risk due to the fact that they can be operated and utilized to spy on the smartphone owner. 6. Microphone eavesdropping. Every smartphone has a microphone, which is also a security risk. The main concern about this is many people might be someone eavesdropping on the private conversation. Microphone also can be used for collecting data. 7. Lack of security patch. Smartphone security patch, especially on Android, have a lack of updates when compared to the Windows or iOS user. Lack of security patch mostly rely on the support of that specific camp, which mainly focus on the phone manufacturers and the wireless carrier. And lastly, 8. Beware the backdoor. Backdoor in this context is trying to convey about what the government would do when they could access all of our data whenever it wanted to. Move on to the next topic.
Moving on to payment in e-commerce. Payment system e-commerce comparison and review. What are the best e-commerce payment system? In online payment for e-commerce, you can accept that there are 3 different types: payment gateway or virtual pool, virtual payment wall, and other electronic payment system for e-commerce. For example, PayPal. The advantage of PayPal is it is very easy to integrate, and all open source CMS for e-commerce integrate it by default in payment. So it is very easy to start. But the disadvantage is not very low commission, ranging from 1.8% to 3.4% for each transaction. And for the commission, even if transaction is canceled, is the example is Stripe. The advantage of Stripe is it's much easier to integrate as the API and simpler and allow greater customization. Payment interface much more versatile and customizable. The disadvantage is it's non-phase rate. Rate cancel only if the customer bank close and dispute in your favor. Otherwise, very high commission, and it takes 7 days to credit the fund to the current account after the transaction from Stripe to the bank account. Moving on,ครับ.
For the cryptocurrency in e-commerce, the technology that underlies cryptocurrency or virtual currency is called the blockchain. In order to develop virtual currencies and use them in market, blockwork technology is used. Since the value of cryptocurrency depends on the state of the market, they are seen as investments. And for the blockchain as the payment method in e-commerce, the payment method available for e-commerce are vary. The choice of payment way depends on the condition offered by the financial provider, the security it provides, and the acceptance that customer have, and other aspects related to technical items. For the benefit of integrating cryptocurrencies in the online store, the technology underlying virtual currencies make this payment system secure, or electronic transactions are trustworthy. And types of virtual currency as a payment method in e-commerce. Among the most popular cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin stand out, but there is a wide range of virtual currency as they are generated independently through algorithm and encryption systems. It is supposed that there are about 1,500 virtual currencies, and there are 3 types of cryptocurrencies, which include Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. For Bitcoin, this type of cryptocurrency is used as an exchange currency on the internet. Moreover, Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency without a central bank or single administrator that can be sent from user to user on the peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need for intermediaries. And for the Ethereum, this type of cryptocurrency is characterized in that it has been programmed in such a way that it complements Bitcoin. It is an operating system that enables us to authorize it for purpose other than only economic or financial ones, and user can develop application using virtual currencies. And for the Litecoin, another emerging e-commerce payment mechanism is this kind of cryptocurrencies. The fact that this source of cryptocurrency has faster transaction confirmation times than any other cryptocurrency is one of its key benefits. Thank you.
Thank you.